to the last section of the steps of success. So we are in the pre-approval section. So at this point, we should have all of our credit up to our minimums. That way we qualify for the loan program that we're looking to accomplish. We understand how much money we need to have for the down payment to qualify for that loan. So if it's a conventional 5%, it's a $200,000 property. We need $10,000 in our bank account to secure that loan for the down payment. Okay. Moving into pre-approval, now we know the lender we've already been in connection with because that's part of our credit. That's part of the first thing that we do when we start the transaction is set up with our lender. That way they're going to start to collect different forms of transaction history. Whether you're W-2, they'll ask for pay stubs and tax returns, as well as if you're self-employed, there's a minimum of 2 to 3 years depending on self-employment, as well as the tax returns that you'll need to bring in. They'll also ask for other different things as far as credit, what things you have on credit, your payments that you're putting in, because they need to determine your debt to income ratio. So anything from a credit card payment, student loans, car payment, if you are renting, all of these things go into what is your debt to income. And so they're going to calculate how much money is essentially going out. This is, again, overview. I'm not getting into the specifics, but how much money is going out and how much money is coming in. And they determine what your debt to income is utilizing those numbers that you will provide in this stage. From there, we generally want to be, the sweet spot is 43% debt to income. So that way you are saving 57% of the money coming in. It's not going out to recurring debts and payoffs. So as long as you can, if you're in that sweet spot of 43 or better, you're good to go. Different loan programs have different minimums, but generally if it's 50% or more, we're going to need to make some adjustments. Okay. So understand you can simply do this. Look at your last pay stub. If you get paid bi-monthly, take your last 2. That way you know what you make on a monthly basis, and then pull up your tax record or your bank statements and see what money is going out. So but it needs to be the recurring things, not necessarily like groceries and gas, but they want to see what are your debts, what are your credit card payments, what are the mortgage loans. Well, obviously we're buying a home, but if you have a current home, what does that mortgage look like? Rent, car payments, things of that nature that are recurring, those go into that. And then how much did you make? How much did you spend? And then that'll give you a ballpark. Again, the lender, that is their job to make sure that they get that optimized so they know exactly what. But the first steps that we have on our end before we get to that stage is we want to get our expenses as low as possible to set up our debt to income as nicely as possible. Okay. From that point, they'll be able to qualify based on what the difference is. So just using that 43, that 57% is going to be the income that we can then utilize towards a mortgage payment. And those are the numbers they're going to use for the pre-approval. So that's kind of, again, quick overview of what are the things that go into that. It's your credit score, debt to income ratio, and that's how they get your pre-approval. So in order to optimize our pre-approval, get it as high as possible, we want the best debt to income as well as a very high credit score. And from that point, we determine how much money we can put on to the pre-approval for the loan. And then the way we can also utilize that is we take the pre-approval, but then also what you're comfortable paying all in out of pocket. And that's where we'll blend those two together to see what your monthly payment will be. Given the credit or the interest rates at that time, we can reverse engineer that to see what the home purchase price is going to be comfortably. And so that's why this is so important at the start, because if we just go start looking at houses and we haven't got our credit straight, we haven't got our debt to income dialed in, and we haven't got our pre-approval, we're kind of shooting at the dark. Because now say we want a 3-bed 2-bath and we're looking in the $350,000 range, but we really only want to pay like $2,000 out of pocket. Determined on the interest rates or the pre-approval, that house might not even qualify or fit into the budget or your desired payment. And so getting this stuff done on the front end is very important. One, to determine where are we comfortable at the end game, and 2, it's going to set us up for the offer phase, which is 2 steps away. So when we see a property, we need to know that we can pull the trigger and qualify for a property that we want to put in an offer on. And so Again, anything specific that you have questions on, just go ahead and click the link, reserve a 15-minute call. But with this should give us a pretty good idea of what to expect when we're introduced to the debt to income, credit score, and how to get pre-approved.